To the power grid, and we actually have for quite some time. They've been forecasting it through different movies that have been out, articles in the paper talking about a EMP. It's way worse than that, way worse than that. Because I'm convinced that the artificial intelligence that's online right now can take the power grid right down, turn it right off. And probably not just in the United States, I'm talking all over the world. What happens if we don't have electricity? Well, in about a year, probably about 90% of the world's population would be gone. And areas with that are used to not having power might do better. However, they're related or relying on a world that supplies them through electrical energy and the commerce that all relies on a power grid that's functional. So it's not like I have an insider that told me about this. That's not at all what I'm thinking about. If you have any reason, credible reason for me to not be concerned about this, by all means private message me and let me know how that's possible, that the artificial intelligence that is online right now, you can YouTube it, you can Google it. For gosh sakes, you can go to my liked video playlist. If it's not showing up when you go to my YouTube channel, Eternal Perspective, all you need to do is click on playlists, and there's an abundant amount of information there. I would have gone earlier with this information. There's some things that I wanted to get in order. When we were first, I should say, when we were getting ready for Y2K, there was a issue that they were talking about the power grid could go down. This is worse than that, as best I can tell, because it'll be a deliberate attack on humanity. And when I say imminent, if they're going to pull the plug on it anytime soon, I would think that it might happen when there's a mass exodus of people traveling, maybe on a holiday like this, could be. If a bunch of people all of a sudden aren't available in levels that would know that, like you find a lot of people that are not coming back from their vacation, could be. I know that when we, one of the other things that I wanted to touch on real quick, it's a sentence anybody can say if you believe it's true. Water exposes the global lie. Let's do that a little bit quicker. Water exposes the global lie. That's just what it is. What shape is the puddle that all the continents come out of? I don't know. It's on a need-to-know basis. I don't know. The water's flat. Undisturbed water is flat, and that's that. It's just what it does, all over the face of the earth. Why it took me longer to get to this today is because I was going to show you running water in the bathroom, and I wanted to make sure everything looked nice and all that. Well, as I talked to a friend and thought about this a little bit further, we've got a big problem. We've got a computer system that is artificially intelligent, I believe aware, and it's satanically motivated. Maybe indwelt by Satan or a demonic entity, that type of thing. There's talk of transhumanism, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. This should be things that you know about. If you're unaware of it, it doesn't mean I'm talking a language that doesn't make sense. You just need to look up the words. What is cryptocurrency? What is Bitcoin? What is artificial intelligence? So I heard some people say they thought it was online around 2001. For gosh sakes, they were forecasting it in the Terminator movie, Skynet. Yeah, so there's somewhat of a relationship between a communication that goes out. It's a way that this brotherhood, this Luciferian agenda uses to communicate with all the people that are in the know. If they're throwing you any devil horns or the one eye or the 666, I'm not even going to throw any signs up. You've seen them. You know what they look like. This group of people that does this kind of thing does all kinds of evil atrocities on humanity. It would be no problem for them to pull the plug on the power grid, literally. So what does it matter what shape the world is then? What the shape of the world will be, do you have a way to keep yourself from freezing to death? So I'm going to have some updates on this. Yeah, there was a car wreck right there. They look okay. But I'm going to have some updates on different things that you can do. I would highly recommend having things on hand that you believe would be really good to have, and you're going to buy them anyway. Toilet paper isn't going to get any cheaper. If you've got empty plastic containers around and you can put some water in them, even tap water, you can use it to flush your toilet. Keep in mind the water tower, let me flip this around. That water tower right there, that'll work for a while. That's going to require pumping. And if you've got a water source much higher, it'll work until it goes dry, and it won't have the well pressure to, or I should say the pressure to fill it back up unless there's auxiliary generators. I would highly recommend making sure that if you've got like candles, know where they are, know where your matches are. We've got 20-degree weather here in South Carolina right now. I've lived in 20 degrees below zero weather. When power goes out with high efficiency furnaces, you got nothing. You've got no way you could have a gas furnace. If you don't have electricity, it's not going to run. It's not going to circulate. So there are some basic, simple things to have in order. Have a way to put some light and heat in a small room, like a bathroom in the middle of your house, because you may need to do that for a while. I would highly recommend having supplies like hydrogen peroxide, antibiotic ointment, different things like that. An infection can kill a really otherwise healthy individual. Yeah, and I saw releases where the official medical industrial complex said don't use hydrogen peroxide. Well, let me tell you something. I had an infection that was painful, and it stopped it just like that. And you can get gangrene and be dead very shortly after you get that. If you get gangrene, you're in trouble. And if we have a power outage that is far-reaching, and your car works, and all the other things apparently work except for the power grid, it may very well be that the artificial intelligence pulled the plug on the grid. See, we really don't know a lot of the details about like an EMP. That's not the threat I'm talking about. That's not at all what I'm talking about. So when you understand the dynamics of the choreography that's going on in the news media, the forecasting of what could happen, I'm looking at this thinking, man, they've been telling us about a power outage possible by an EMP by North Korea. That's not what this is. What this is the possibility for artificial intelligence to pull the plug on the power grid. Just think of what you don't have if you don't have electricity. It's basically society collapses. It could be that, and it could be they pull the pin on the credit bubble. When's that going to happen? It's imminent. What I showed you in the thumbnail was this right here. It's an hourglass. Actually, lasts less than an hour. I don't know how much time we have for that. What it ultimately goes back to, whatever happens that way, 3 people per second no longer have their physiological, biological interface with this dimension, the human experience. We're all eternal beings having a temporary human experience. Do you think I'd be going to Walmart right now if the power was off? No way. Not even, I wouldn't want to get anywhere near this place. Okay, so there are some very perilous times looming, and I just want to let you know I'm not all freaked out about it, because I'm good to go. The extra few pounds I have on me would sustain me for a bit of time if I can't get food. I would highly recommend having the consumables you know you're going to use anyway. If you've got pets, you got cats, it'd be good to have cat litter. It'd be good to have pet food. It'd be good to have extra water. I wouldn't drink tap water unless I had to. I do have purified water stored up too. And then the other thing is that you can flush a toilet with pond water, but I wouldn't want to drink it. I've got some Life straws. I would highly recommend you look into getting those. I'm going to flip this around. Yep, it's a nice New Year's Day at Walmart. No freaking out right now. Imagine Black Friday kind of activity, only people are trying to find life support type products, food and water. A lot of people don't have much more than a few days supply of stuff that they need. So one of the other things on my, I'm going to just go ahead and lay this out there, because I would like to see this video go viral. Not because I want to be in the limelight, not at all. What I want to help us to do is to consider something really important, and that is that we can all have a YouTube channel, and we can have playlists that we put together, a liked video playlist. I can subscribe, or you can, to 100 channels a day. When I hand out a when I subscribe to somebody, it's my way of saying, hey, you can take a look at my channel if you want to, see if you want to take a look at what I got going on. Okay, we can have 2,000 subscriptions. So when I'm adding one, one's falling off. If you're a subscriber to me and I'm not subscribing to you, I'll get back to that. I'm approaching 300 subscribers. What I've done is found some playlists that are wonderful at exposing some of the things that people should know about. The pharmaceutical industry, the medical industry, learning how to take care of yourself if you can't get out for help. And quite frankly, a lot of the law enforcement may just be hunkering down at home. If this whole thing comes unglued and they've got a wife and children at home, they're probably going to be taking care of them and letting people fend for themselves. I don't know. I can't speak for all of them. What happens in chaos? Okay. So what I would simply say is scroll through my timeline on or my YouTube liked video playlist. And if you've got another go-to individual that or set of channels that you trust for input like this, I would say check it out. Go to the Lord ultimately. I would say that rather than guns and gold and all that, I'm saying pre-purchase things you know you're going to need. Have a half a year's supply of consumables that aren't going to go bad. Have them on hand. Wouldn't it be nice to know that you don't have to run out at the last minute when it's chaos all around? So that's why I'm saying this. Go ahead and look at some of the preparatory steps that you can take that don't cost much money at all. It's just good to take care of this. So I'll be reviewing comments later. What I found out on my YouTube channel, all my comments, I've delayed them. So sometimes I don't get to them right away, depending on what life circumstances I'm dealing with. So I would simply say, go ahead and leave your comments. I've linked my YouTube channel with my Facebook profile. My phone number is public. It's easy to find. You can look at my name. You can look at my profile. It's there. With the Messenger program, we can utilize worldwide communications with an internet access. I've got an iPod that I've talked to people around the world on through a wireless router. It's just pretty cool. So I would highly recommend. The system has me pegged. I know that. So will this go out? Will my channel get taken down? It could happen. It could happen. Evaluate the message that I'm telling you. I believe it's solid. It holds water. Yeah, it does. Water is the clue to exposing the global lie. The water in the jug, the water in the toilet, your shower, your bathtub, the glass. My jug is almost completely full right now. So it's not so obvious, but you can look at my photo album if you like. What I've endeavored to do is cross-pollinate between my Facebook and YouTube so people can get an idea for what I'm about. I'm not asking for money. I'm not selling anything. I do this more than 24/7. Because it's not just the me that's doing this live broadcast right now. It's my own personal public syndication to put together what I believe is important information for you to know. On my Facebook profile right now, you can go to my upper right corner on my YouTube channel and click on the F to go to Facebook. It's a New Year's message I made a year ago. It's still rock solid. The thing that I said that was wrong on it is that it takes 77 hours to hear the entire, or the Old Testament. It takes less than 77 hours to hear the entire Bible. I would strongly recommend hearing the entire New Testament often, awake or asleep. I would encourage you to have auxiliary power, batteries, rechargeables, a solar panel. There's a lot of things that we can do. I don't want to have to run an 8-cylinder car to charge up a cell phone. You know, it doesn't make much sense. So I do have a solar panel in the back there that charges my battery of my car. In the real cold weather, while we've got electricity, I can have my battery plugged in and nice and hot, ready to go when it's super cold. I remember living in Wisconsin with 25 degree below zero on Fahrenheit, and I had to get up and start that car in the middle of the night so I would be able to start it at 5 o'clock in the morning when I needed to go to work. I needed it to be a little bit warm. So there's survival techniques to doing this. You can research it. You can call me. The most important thing, I believe, for everybody is to get your house in order. Be ready to go. I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. I'm just telling you that's the way that this is. No matter how many supplies you have wherever you're hunkered down, you may have to go somewhere. They're not going to say, hey, Robert, you're going to have to lose 50 pounds before we take you to the FEMA camp. No, they're not going to say that. They're going to say you got to go. You got to leave your neighborhood. You know, I don't know if that's going to happen. I have no way of knowing. What I did is I went public with this as soon as I believed God wanted me to, and that was when I did. So I'll be giving some more updates on this. It may sound a bit disturbing. It should, because it absolutely is. On the quantum computing, that's one of the other buzzwords in the whole artificial intelligence. Quantum computing, we've got transhumanism, and all of that's kind of fits together in a pretty scary kind of package. So thanks for watching, liking, sharing, supporting with your public and private encouragement. I really appreciate that. So thank you so much. An effective way of sharing God's word to the ends of the earth around the clock is by including Bible.com and Bible.is in comments face to face, Facebook, YouTube. You can tweet it, all of that. All right. So for an eternal perspective, I encourage everybody to hear, share, and of course, most importantly, obey God's word. Humanly impossible to do. You need to be born again.